Kelvin Jeff's the man in charge. Over 100 first-grade games under his belt. And fittingly, Greg Florimo, the first touch of the game. Adam MUIR, he'll get through plenty of work for the Bears. Florimo into the action early on. LOMAX makes the tackle. And he's upended. There's Owen Cunningham just lifting a touch as FAIRLEIGH goes forward. Just 10 metres short of the halfway line. To the far side, and Gary LARSON. SODEN will do a fair bit of kicking out of acting half, and that's a very good kick, in fact. Scott Mahon, the former Parramatta Eel, and the chase was a beauty from North Sydney. They've scored a century of tries so far this season, the Bears. Locke. Trindall goes over the top. Florimo heavily involved down below. Florimo on LOMAX now. Just before kickoff, what a lovely day it is in Sydney, and Gary Belcher joins us on the sideline. We've provided the sunshine, Gary. Yeah, it's a great day down here, isn't it? There was a light breeze that was, well, it was favouring North Sydney. It just seems to have dropped, maybe just in their favour, blowing towards the north. I know a lot of people think this game might be a foregone conclusion because of you know, their lowly position on the ladder. The Cowboys, they haven't won away from home since rounds 1 and 2 against Adelaide and Parramatta, and there's a lot of emotion involved with North Sydney, but I think it'll be very tight until half-time. They look like they're ready to play as well, the Cowboys. Well, a very big assignment for their young halves combination in Scott Prince and Denny Lambert.
The fact we saw the Cowboys kick off there means that North Sydney's won the toss and decided to run with that breeze. Probably hoping to break this Cowboys side early.
Billy Moore, just short of the halfway line. In fact, tackled right upon it. Matt Sears, regular fullback for so many years now in the centres. Taylor, a nice short pass for MUIR. Loves to offload the football and does it extremely well. Gary LARSON stands in the tackle. 15th plays 5th. 16 wins for the North Sydney Bears. And the Cowboys, as Gary Belcher mentioned, had a very good start to the year.
Very careful.
Taylor, Florimo, short ball. Put the finishing touches on these combinations before the finals. Taylor gets the kick away in general play. It's a good one. Scott Mahon must play at it. And he did a good job getting away from his own line.
The last couple of weeks, Jason Taylor has set up a great combination with Adam MUIR in his few games back from injury, but you won't want to forget the Taylor-Florimo combination either. It's going to give them some nice options on both sides of the field.
Martin Locke. It's the one try in his 16 games. Jason Deeth. Over 600 points for North Sydney. Gary, they don't have any trouble scoring points.
Plenty of points, haven't they? And that's why it's, you know, the advantage of racking up some big scores during the year. If they do win this, they can slot into that 4th position and get a home semi-final. So I guess that's an ominous warning for the Cowboys as well. They can score them.
Oh, Nigel ROY. Going close to touching that ball, but cleared his hands. Walters. Shipway. Mark Shipway is an impressive back rower. Former centre. LOMAX, oh, great offload by LOMAX, back to Shipway. Trying to get HANNAY involved. Josh HANNAY delivers it. Short ball for Martin Locke. They go to the open side. Again for Prince. BUETTNER read the play well. Snuffing out any opportunity on the far side. Cunningham. Deeth. Nowhere to go.
They've got a great record. They've got a great record on tackle 5 here, the Cowboys.
Lambert, the kick. IKIN juggled it, took it brilliantly in the end.
I think more than any side in the competition, they score the majority of their tries from that bomb tactic. And Van IKIN there put under pressure straight away, but plenty of Cowboys there to contest it.
And a piggyback penalty here for North Sydney, and Gary Belcher is a former fullback. Ben IKIN's attitude to the the high ball. He goes, well, I'm going to catch some. He said, I'm going to drop some. I'm not going to worry too much about it.
Oh, his attitude to everything's just spot on, isn't he? He's always out there having a go. That's one thing he has got over Matt Seers. Matt Seers is solid under the high ball, but Ben, of course, is a bit taller. You get up a little bit higher, so I guess that's another advantage of having him back there behind the pack.
Trindall has really stepped up a gear this year, Gus.
He has. He's a good, solid player. Week in, week out. Rarely injured, rarely out of the team. Gives them a good, solid platform.
Gary Larson, as we mentioned earlier. Josh Stewart on the comeback trail after suspension. Had a good game in the President's Cup. FAIRLEIGH. Billy Moore into open space. Here goes Florimo, and he just loses his footing.
Wouldn't the crowd like to see him score the first try?
It would erupt. Burr Park. MUIR for Jason Taylor. Taylor for SODEN. SODEN for SEERS. SEERS with plenty of pace. Will this be try number 1? He's lost the ball. Stripping in the tackle. They'll keep the pressure on here.
He had a second go.
I think they might.
He had a second go at him, Tony.
Well, he tends to want to take the points when they're on offer, Jason Taylor. He's got such a good strike rate. It's virtually 2 points to him every time they're a penalty in this range. He's always taken the adage, if there's points there, take them. The Broncos and the Canberras and the like tend to tap it and keep running. Matt Seers very close here to the line.
Well, he's just stone cold lost that. I don't know if there was...
He's ruled that Scotty, he ruled that he was tackled with the ball, and Scotty Mahon had another... The referee was saying he had a second attempt at him, and that's where the ball came loose. Had he not had that second attempt, Matt Seers would have been able to get up and play the ball. He was in a far better position than us, Kelvin Jeffs, who himself is starting to run into a little bit of form coming down to the finals.
Have you got him next week, have you, Gus?
I don't know about that.
Trying to give him a rap.
Now, from down the sideline, gentlemen, it looked to me like that Matt Seers ran away, or he could have used Nigel ROY a bit better. I don't know how you saw it from up on that high advantage position in the commentary box.
Yeah, well, Nigel ROY sort of loomed up late on the outside. I think by that time he decided he was going to pin his ears back and try back on the inside. We'll see how Taylor goes with this kick now.
76% for the season. Third best in the competition. And he bumps this one over. The opening points to this game of the North Sydney Bears. They lead by 2 points to 0.
Yeah, well, it's not an easy shot from there, but certainly routine for Jason Taylor these days, particularly here at Bear Park. It'll be interesting to see when North Sydney go to the Central Coast, whether he has the same strike rate up at Graham Park.
He's probably already been there practicing. There's very little undone in his preparation.
Well, if you spend 2 hours a day doing anything, you're going to become good at it, and you deserve your success, and that's what Jason Taylor does every day of his life.
Still hoping. Nigel ROY busting tackles away from 2. IKIN. Jason Taylor, who took on the defensive line.
Took a fairly solid whack there too, JT. NADRUKU sprinting out of the line as crash tackled him.
Got one across the bridge of the nose. Tough competitor. Inside ball for Adam MUIR. Look at that hand come out. He's so strong, looking for the offload. Quick play the ball. Larson got over the advantage line. SODEN, inside ball for Matt Seers. The opening try of the afternoon at Bear Park, and maybe there will be plenty more.
The problem for the Cowboys here today is that they're trying to sprint up in defence and put pressure on the North Sydney players. And because of the strength of the Bears, they're able to push through tackles, and that gets them behind the defensive line. Then the offloads become dangerous. We've already seen a couple of half chances to the Bears. They've finally culminated in 6 points, but Larson here, too strong. Now the defenders up past the ball, therefore no one to stop the offload, and in behind the line, SODEN and Seers too clever. The first try of the game.
He had players hanging all over him, but still got the quick play the ball away, Adam MUIR. And the strength of this man. Growing confidence, the North Sydney pack.
Well, that's the problem with that defence. If you're going to rush up, you can't miss. You've got to go up and lock the ball. And with the strength of these North Sydney players, if the Cowboys continue to rush up as they are, but don't stop the offload one-on-one, then the Bears are going to tear them apart. And that's been very evident in the first couple of possessions of North Sydney already. They're just a little too strong for that sort of defence. They can't lock the ball up.
8 points to 0 at Bear Park. Inside the opening 10 minutes is Jason Taylor. will go to the blood bin, Gary.
Well, you just can't afford to miss one-on-one tackles, can you, against a side like this? Gary Larson, that's Jason Deeth just slipping out there. A nice ball inside. And Matt Sears backing up like a fullback up the middle of the park. He would have been in that position plenty of times and over under the posts.
It's a very well-rounded side. He's quite a bump on that nose. That the modelling career goes out the window for Jason Taylor.
He won't be happy with that, JT. He did take a very heavy knock. Noah NADRUKU ran up on him, and he is something of an intercept king, Noah NADRUKU, and I think Jason Taylor threw the dummy. Noah NADRUKU copped him right on the nose.
Injuries to Jason Taylor. He seems to recover.
Just throws the dummy there. And a heavy clash with NADRUKU. Have to see from a different angle to see if there was an elbow involved there, but just looked like a hard clash.
Roll away. You didn't give him any time. Roll away, Steve.
So it's 8 points to 0 after 10 minutes. So Steve Walters just hanging on a touch, but he had a bit of help. That's a magnificent kick by the Bears. They look very hungry, the Bears. Trindall storming his way forward now. 30 metres out from the try line. Reber. Larson. So there's acting halves out there with SODEN and Reber. Billy Moore finds Buettner. Throws the dummy. Buettner needs 2 more tries to equal 20 tries, and that's the club record for North Sydney, back to 1922. Florimo, the dummy, fends off one, gets around another. Oh, Bear Park erupts. Florimo goes over in maybe his final game at his beloved ground. And it was a spectacular try as well. Plenty of hard work in that one.
Yeah, again, the strength of these North Sydney players, typified by Greg Florimo here. SODEN playing in the first receiver position without Taylor. The dummy from Florimo, now too strong. Again, one-on-one miss. The customary left foot step, never tackled. Forces his way across the line. We've seen that so often. You see so many Cowboy players now up past the ball. They're no use to their team now. And the strength of the North Sydney side, seemingly able to bust these tackles one-on-one at will. Dummy, inside out, left foot step, shrug, left foot step, shrug again, and dive for the line. You wouldn't need to see the number on his back to know who that was.
He's done it plenty of times, hasn't he? 7th try for the season. He's only missed 2 games so far this year. Greg Florimo. Ben IKIN has the goal kicking duties with Jason Taylor off the park. Ian Roberts on the park for the Cowboys. IKIN, the flags go up. It's starting to look a touch ugly, Gary.
Wasn't a great kick, but it went over, and that's what counts, I guess. They'd stretched him from one side of the park, it came back the other. The little dummy on the inside's what did it. Scott Mahon here just went too high, obviously wanting to cut the ball off. You can see plenty of support players, but you've got to make the tackle first. Here's the kick, a wobbly one, just scraping inside that right upright.
They've turned the ball over on far too many occasions early in this game, the Cowboys. I remember them in one set of 6 as Florimo. It's a back for Nigel ROY. They keep this pressure up. 14 points in 14 minutes. David FAIRLEIGH making good yards, good meters, I should say. Up over the halfway line goes Adam MUIR. The offload there for SEERS. A good one from SEERS for SODEN to FAIRLEIGH to Moore. And NADRUKU, as you touched on earlier, Phil Gouldy loves the intercept.
He certainly does. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you throw the dummy, you're going to beat Noah NADRUKU, who really backs himself to come through in the middle there and take the ball. They were in awful trouble if he didn't get that touch. Probably would have been 4-on-1 out on the outside there, and another Bears try. Still, they have possession. Mark REBER to feed the scrum. They'll have another set of 6.
REBER, who's playing halfback with Jason Taylor, kicking on the first tackle. Look at the chase. Look at Dallas come. 300 miles an hour. He gets there. Another spectacular try. A great play, kicking on the first tackle, catching Scott Mahon asleep.
This was a try they scored against Melbourne a few weeks ago from exactly the same position on the field, exactly the same scrum. On that occasion, it was Scott Petherbridge playing on the right wing. This time, the flying Brett Dallas. And Florimo there, straight off the scrum, first tackle, catches the Cowboys napping. They took BUETTNER out, but they didn't get the faster man, Dallas. And he was just too quick to get across for Scott Mahon there. Great football by Florimo. That's backing your ability and your teammates. We'll see from here whether or not he got it down with downward pressure. A little surprised they didn't go to the video referee, but Kelvin Jeff was very confident he put downward pressure on this. We'll give that a try.
Oh, Dallas gets over.
18 points to 0, and we've just had on 15 minutes play.
Try 3 for the Bears, 10 for the season, and starting to look ominous. Of course, Dallas was out of action for the first half of the season with a shoulder injury. But he will be dangerous come the semi-finals. So IKIN with another tough one. Just 5 meters in from this sideline. He strikes this one better. Beautifully, in fact. The flags go up. And the points, 20 points to 0.
Yeah, it's a great play from the scrum, this. Of course, Scott Mahon had to stay up to mark his fullback on the other side. Maybe could have been a touch deeper. He's no slouch in the pace department. But what about Brett Dallas? Comes from out of nowhere. Good put down. The referee wasn't in a great position. Obviously, the linesman helped him with that call. Well done.
Yeah, Gary, when I said they caught him napping, really, it was a touch unfair because Brett Dallas, it's not hard to be caught napping by Brett Dallas, and Mahon did do a pretty good job of getting back, but just too much pace, really, Dallas.
Too much speed. Did I say that the Cowboys had come ready to play and it might be close at half-time?
Yeah, well, you are from north of the border, don't forget that.
Well, yeah.
You've got to stay solid.
Well, all they've had at the moment is tackling practice or non-tackling practice. I mean, they've had no ball. North Sydney have dominated all the possession. And it's your worst fears. You go in with some young players in your team and you're hoping for a solid start. You know you're up against it, playing a quality side. Here's a chance again.
Goes Nigel ROY down the left flank. Has had a MUIR in support. Can't get the ball to MUIR. He gets it to SODEN. SODEN has been backing up well so far today.
It's a little cheeky from SODEN. He threw a dummy towards the linesman there. I don't know who he thought was going to fall for that.
FLORIMO waits. Little chip kick. NADRUKU is there for BUETTNER. And loses it. One-on-one. Knock back.
You're just going back to what I'm saying. You've got a young side. You're looking for a solid start against a good team away from home. And you look up, it's 20 points to 0, and your worst fears have come to realisation. It's going to be a long afternoon here for the Cowboys, unless they can get some possession and get on the board, be the next to score.
Well, Ray Mercy plays it back, and he loses that. Well, that's heartbreaking stuff, really, for the Cowboys, Gary. They've been struggling for possession without giving it away on the second.
Well, particularly when you finally got it. You're down 20 points to 0. You've got to get over the line, or you've got to get up the other end of the park. And they virtually haven't been over the halfway line, or at least into the North Sydney 40-metre zone. It's a real retreat today. They're struggling, the Cowboys.
You're back there making decisions. I don't need you, all right? What you've got to do is play football for me, OK? We're fair. We understand one another? Good.
I understand, mate. Nothing's going on.
Yeah. It has, and you haven't had any ball, too. You haven't had any ball.
Gary, at this stage of the season, the Broncos are favourites. And long odds on favourites to be the premiership. Do you see anything in this Bears outfit that can trouble them? They have in past years.
I do. I see a lot about the Bears that I like. I think they're the real contenders to be out there with the Broncos, along with a couple of other clubs. I guess I should mention the Roosters, but yeah, I think they've got a lot going for them. I'm really impressed. Apart from the regular players, the Florimo and Taylor, but Ben IKIN has come along in leaps and bounds, and he's out there directing them around like another 5'8" this afternoon.
Yeah, in fact, from memory, the Bears have bumped the Broncos out of the semi-finals on 2 or 3 occasions of the 90s. In their hands it goes.
They've been a bit of a bogey side for the Broncos over the years. Let's see what they've got to offer here now. 20 metres out, tackle 3.
SODEN, good one-hand pick up for Gary LARSON. LARSON for REBER. IKIN, inside ball, Adam MUIR. BUETTNER forward pass from MUIR. Well, he could see the record books, I think. That was try number 19 for the season. Just
a look on Michael BUETTNER's face here as he looks at the referee and says, oh, gee, they've come to watch me play, not to watch your referee.
Gee, I think this was pretty close,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Watching pushes the pass. Oh, well, maybe it's just floated forward. The ref's on the spot. We've got to go with him.
I think it was the right call. Wasn't the one the crowd wanted.
No.
Well, that record has stood since 1922. It says Blenkhorn scored 20 tries in one season. In fact, also corresponds with the Bears' last premiership.
The thing I like about the Bears at the moment is that, I mean, Taylor is off the field, but all of a sudden FLORIMO and IKIN, as Gary Belcher said, are starting to run the play around the rucks, and a nice little interchange of passing there with MUIR. Line breaks already, 6-0. 6-0.
Gee, they've got some good set pieces, though, haven't they, Gus? I mean, I imagine that if you stand back, if you coach your side, if you don't have them up in their face, they'll bedazzle you, and they're doing that this afternoon.
Oh, REBER put a big chase.
Gary, over the years, I guess you defended against Jason Taylor because he dominated so much of the ball, but now the BUETTNER, IKIN and FLORIMO and MUIR has added a new dimension to the game. There's so many options. It's taken a lot of pressure off Taylor and put a lot more pressure on opposition defences.
It's not a bad time for the coach, is it, to have Taylor off the field and to have these other guys running the show, and just so they get that little bit of extra confidence in case he's not there at any stage during the finals.
Trindall, up over the halfway line he goes. SODEN. REBER. Billy Moore takes on the line. MUIR on his left shoulder. IKIN will get involved. Inside ball for MUIR. They hit the spin. What about that for a nice offload to BUETTNER? He's brought that extra dimension to the Bears game in season 98. FLORIMO kicks again for Dallas. And not one of his better kicks.
No, I don't think he expected the ball that wide on tackle 5. Tried to get a kick away, but it didn't really work for them, and the Cowboys come away now. They've got to get to their kick here. They've got to get down to tackle 5, get a good kick and chase on, maybe try and win a penalty just to steady the ship.
Jason Deef. Michael COOREY away from acting half. The second time in the game they've been up the Bears' end of the park. Prince. Denny Lambert. Ian Roberts, the veteran, off the bench. He enters his way to within 25 metres of the line. Lambert, good kick. And NADRUKU chasing through. REBER was there.
Yeah, well read there by Mark REBER. Very quick player. Plays a lot of positions. Nice little kick put him behind the line. All of a sudden, snap. Replacement halfbacks back there and got it covered.
I guess building up to the finals, Gary, this is a very good bench, isn't it? MORRISON, LEYSHON, REBER, PETHYBRIDGE.
They're getting a bit of a run early, aren't they? Yeah, I think it is. And of course, the 17-man game, you need to have them involved fairly heavily in every match. They've got to get that match fitness as well as the confidence of the other players around them.
IKIN. Dissecting the winger and also Scott Mahon. Mahon goes back to chase. MORRISON is on the park for the Bears. As it goes now, this is Adam Warwick in the 17. Played against Manly last week. Quick. Mercy. Ray Mercy, who scored 4 tries against Balmain earlier in the season. Inside ball for Locke. Deep. Picks up 10, 15 metres from acting half. Final tackle now for the Cowboys. Kicking game has been one of their strengths this year. Denny Lambert, midfield bomb. He's the only player chasing through, but IKIN took it well. The offload for Nigel ROY. He needed a few mates here.
Yeah, up there, Kazali. Benny IKIN backs his ability again, gets up nice and high, took it at the highest point of his loop. They make Gary Belcher proud down there.
I don't think it'd matter how many chases you had there. If you jump like that, you keep your eye on the ball like he didn't wrap it up. IKIN was going to take that if there were 8 players around him.
He has a ground in basketball as Ben IKIN. He can leave the ground. So the FLORIMO's on the open side, as well as MUIR. Good hit from Roberts. SODEN. That's been touched by the Cowboys. A Bear's got to dive on it. Let's play on. Martin Locke has it. And he gets up off the ground. Adam MUIR says, what's happening? Larson made the tackle. This is COOREY. Oh, good offload for Mahon. Mahon loses it. The Bears have it. Billy Moore comes away.
It's the last couple of sets in defence. North Sydney have been sort of sitting back. I think a few of their players are going a lot more interested when they got the ball than when they haven't got the ball. Just want to be careful that the Cowboys don't get a confidence builder.
You're going to go to the blood bin, all right?
If you can keep the pressure up in defence, it takes out any opportunity the opposition has to think there's a comeback on offer.
Jason Deeth goes to the blood bin. Steve Walters comes back into the game. Morrison. Florimo, players in motion. Michael BUETTNER, quick hands, knocked down. Be a Bears ball.
They're doing a lot of this, the Cowboys, racing up quickly, trying to get in between the men and knock the passes down. The big play for North Sydney's really been the dummy and run. One-on-one, they've just been too strong.
Far too many handling errors there by the Cowboys, and they've missed 8 tackles to the Bears 2. Those line breaks, 6-0. They spread the ball for IKIN. Back to the middle of the park. It picks up about 5 metres.
It's interesting this Peter Louis leaving Jason Taylor off the field. I mean, he looks like quite comfortable down there on the bench. I don't think he's that inconvenienced that he couldn't be out there, but it's a long, long time since the Bears have had to play without him. He's had something like 180 consecutive games. It's the opportunity Peter Louis was looking for, just to see how his Chargers went without their normal number 7.
They're going pretty good, aren't they, Florimo? In the ground, 20 out, Morrison. LEYSHON, good ball for Billy Moore. Nigel ROY must score, he does. Scott Mahon went for the shoulder charge, but Nigel ROY was too big. He crashed through that. Try number 4 for the North Sydney Bears.
Yeah, Nigel ROY, good little play here by Billy Moore. Willie LEYSHON down the short side. Looked like it was going to be a cutout pass, and Billy Moore intercepted his own man's ball. Nigel ROY very strong, took on Scott Mahon, scored in his favourite corner, right underneath the terrace of the Molly Dive stand. Well, they've got the Muppet stand up. I think that refers to Nigel ROY. Bang. Kept his eyes on the prize. And over for another 4-pointer. Good play by Willie LEYSHON. He's developed as a player. Looked for sure as though there was going to be a cutout pass there for SEERS. I think Billy Moore intercepted that, realising he was in the hole. Nice play there from LEYSHON and Billy Moore down the short side.
Oh, 24-0 at this stage. The former Illawarra Steeler, Nigel ROY, certainly come of age in Bears colours. And there's Jason Taylor. He's still got not a pretty look, is it?
I think that'll get a run on the Optus shows during the week. Sitting there with cotton buds up his nose.
IKIN. 2 from 2.
Benny IKIN said his experience in State of Origin this year with Alfie Langer and Kevin Walters, just the relaxed way they went about their football and get out there, do your best and take what comes, has really relaxed him as a footballer. See how he goes with this one from the touchline. Jason Taylor right behind him. That'd make you nervous.
Just give you a couple of whispers in the ear, a bit of advice. Tried a bit hard on that one. The scoreline remains the same. 24 points to 0.
Well, they were short on numbers on the blind side here, and with Billy Moore prowling on that left side of the park all afternoon, they'd want to fix that problem because he's just making up that extra man all the time. Well done by Nigel ROY to get it over.
Gary, I mentioned the North Sydney bench before. Willie LEYSHON's such an important member of this side. He's played in 21 games. He's scored 4 tries, but he has a good pair of hands, but he's like a little pocket dynamo, isn't he? He comes off with some very big hits.
Yeah, and he looks like he's fairly hard to handle as well when he's got the ball in his hands. It's not a huge bench, is it, in comparison to some of the other teams, but certainly fairly effective.
LEYSHON again. Got REBER at acting half. Florimo the decoy for Trindall. Trindall, good meters, just short of the halfway line. IKIN, Morrison. Controversial signing during the off-season. Billy Moore to Adam MUIR. He backs into the defensive line, but it's up another couple of meters. Florimo. High ball. Nigel ROY coming through. Mahon tripped over but still took it well.
Warwick. It's been a good display by both fullbacks under the ball here today. Scotty Mahon actually wrong-footed by the flight, slipped over but still come up with the grab.
But Steve Walker's back on the park. Mahon slips through one, gets the pass away, but Nigel ROY covered up.
Played at it, thank you.
And Nigel ROY is going to be deemed to have knocked this over the sideline. It's interesting to see whether or not the Cowboys player would have caught it had he let it go, but he didn't. He didn't take the opportunity. Yeah, he probably would have come up with the catch. Was the first line break there for the North Queensland side. Been a pretty disappointing couple of years for the Cowboys. Last in the Super League competition last year, and as of now, after a promising start to the year, they've conceded over 500 points for season 1998. Plenty of good quality players there.
Yeah, in fact, they've probably got a better team on paper than that, Gary.
I think they have, and the way they started the season was up there with the expectations, maybe even above that, but
too long.
Haven't they dropped away?
There's a roll away, you're still
penalty finally. No. The Cowboys have done it tough to get anything go their way this afternoon.
Andrew Duneman, of course, their regular half, is not playing in this game. He's out injured and he's off to the Rabbitohs next season. So we're looking to the future here for the Cowboys with Scott Prince in 18 and Denny Lambert in 20, 17 and 18 years of age.
I think next year they've signed Noel Goldthorpe and Paul Green, haven't they?
They have two halfbacks. To the hands. Scotty Prince. Lambert. Back to the inside. Gets it away for Walters. Can't get the offload.
North Sydney very thin out here on the left-hand side.
They go to the left. Back for Lomax. Lomax. Mahon lost it. Wow. It was nice hands from John Lomax. And Scott Mahon just twisted his knee on the way through.
Yeah, interesting here. I mean, the Cowboys elected to go back on the inside where the North Sydney defence was strong. They've come up with a good hit there and forced the loose ball, but they were very thin on the left. Sometimes footballers have got to be able to overrule the play that's been called. They did have them stretched out way on the left, decided to come back through the middle. Plenty of defence there, forces the error.
Looked like a covering tackle there from Adam MUIR that has caused some bother to Scott Mahon, probably perhaps his right knee. He landed fairly heavily.
64 to 39. Just shows you how much possession the Bears have had. 24 points to 0. His tackle's 11 to 4.
Lomax back on the inside now. See Scotty Mahon come through and bang, hit as he's got the ball. Just caught one on the left, on his right thigh there.
It's a bit of hard work for the Bears now, working it out of their own territory.
Well, earlier in the season, they were running up some big first half scores, the Bears. They're getting out to 20 and 30-point leads at half time and then dropping off. I'm sure Peter Louis, round 24, semi-finals on next week, would like to finish this game off strongly. That'll be the message going out 10 minutes before half time, and certainly at half time they'll talk about a solid second period.
Inside ball for Adam MUIR. SEERS. Dallas. They try and get around Ray Mercy. NADRUKU comes in to help out. With Denny Lambert. Trindall. Good yards. SODEN. Little kick. It'll stay in the field of play. Scott Mahon. Away. Gets around Dallas. SODEN. Picks him off.
Showed he's taken no harm from that knock on the leg. Nice little step around there to get Dallas one-on-one.
Walters. Michael COOREY. He's yet to score in his 7 games for the Cowboys. Lomax. Forced across the sideline. He won't enjoy that at all.
That's good defence by North Sydney. The Cowboys all season have worked a lot of their play around the dummy half and short sides to the point where North Sydney have obviously done their homework, lined up on the inside of them down on those short sides, and here forced Lomax right out over the edge of the field. That's good homework by North Sydney, predicting what the Cowboys were going to come up with and have forced the error and now got good possession again.
Well,
Get that outside, get the outside leg up.
5 minutes or 7 minutes before the half-time break. They've lost one against the feed. I was about to say, Gary, I thought another try was on the way.
Well, if they got the football within that zone, it would have. You'd expect that. They're hungry to get hold of it in an attacking position, the Bears, but they've taken a little bit of control here without getting over the line, the Cowboys. They're holding on to the football a bit better at the moment.
Gary, I think that scrum against the head proves that halfbacks win scrums. We had a hooker feeding it to a hooker there, and they still couldn't come up with a result.
Yeah, well, they don't realise where the ball actually goes. They think they're just good at hooking it back.
Yeah.
Lambert. Oh, Josh Hannay went without it, so Nigel ROY has it. Dangerous offload there for Petherbridge, I believe.
It's one thing North Sydney do. They're just not happy to fall on a loose ball. They will promote it straight away and try and score straight away from the turnover. They've done it all season.
BUETTNER looks to accelerate. Oh, so close to getting on the outside of Ray Mercer. IKIN, SEERS promotes it to Dallas. NADRUKU has him. LEYSHON, straight through he goes. It's deceptively quick. FAIRLEIGH, well, he guided it straight into the hands of Ray Mercy. Big effort, Gary LARSON, to grab hold of him.
Tell you what, Mercy was quick to get that one, wasn't he? Was he offside, or was it just a slow play of the ball?
Well, I guess you had a back rower at the acting half position also, and the delivery maybe not as quick, Gary. Bombed a couple of chances in the last 5 minutes, the Bears. LOCKE, good defence. LARSON's come up with it, and the offload as well.
Yeah, straight away from the turnover. As soon as they get the turnover, they promote the ball.
Oh, FLORIMO was about to pass it back to SODEN. LARSON. Billy Moore. Nothing too serious, hopefully, the week before the finals. The Bears have been able to keep their regular 17 together. I think only Brisbane has used less players than the Bears this year. Petherbridge. Petherbridge has plenty of speed, and now he uses it, and they get an Owen. FLORIMO, he picks up a double. Is he happy? Yes. And why not? The crowd enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll let the crowd do the story. Petherbridge very quick out from dummy half, in and the way on LOMAX. A nice fend there. And FLORIMO backing up on the inside, goes over. He'll punch the air. He won't want to get carried away. I think there's a few more on offer for him before the end of the day. He won't know which one's going to be the final punch if the Bears keep this one up. Petherbridge, very, very quick. He can kiss a bullet.
And FLORIMO. And he's in front, and Greg FLORIMO will get the chance to convert his own try. MUIR. MORRISON, he did well.
They're just so strong. They're keeping the ball alive at every opportunity, and that's wearing on the Cowboys. Once they get the one offload, the Cowboys can't recover in defence. FLORIMO converting tries in the first half.
It's been a real problem, hasn't it, for the Cowboys, letting players stand in tackles and offload. Firstly MUIR, then Morrison. He should have been wrapped up, no doubt. Petherbridge just shows the ball on the outside, and they hung off until he had the chance to offload it inside. Greg FLORIMO under the post. The crowd have seen what they came to see. I wouldn't be surprised if they left for the pub.
Percy's just across the road.
It's a little embarrassing for Paul Sirenin. I know Roy Simmons kicked a goal in his last game. Greg FLORIMO's kicked a goal in his last game.
He had a chance.
Paul Sirenin had one from in front. He took it nearly back to halfway to give himself a task, but he came up with the miss last night.
FLORIMO with 2 tries already, as LEYSHON. He's made his impact, as we mentioned, off the bench, as he normally does.
Yeah, good solid player. Penrith Junior, signed by North Sydney 3 or 4 years ago and put into their junior league system, and this year he's really borne fruit for them.
Owen picks up Gary LARSON. MORRISON got one high. He was crouched when it happened. What do you think, Gary?
Well, it was certainly high, but I don't think it was any real sting in it. Kelvin Jeffs had a good look at it and decided to play on.
Final tackle. Back it goes for IKIN. Times the ball pretty well. In fact, not as well as he would have liked. Came down for the hands of Adam Warwick for Mahon.
He looked like a bit like a rugby union fullback there. Just placed himself inside the 40 and calmly had a shot for the 40-20.
What a nice follow. 2 minutes to go. Walters looks at the options. He goes to the skipper, LOMAX. Mahon involved from the full-back position. Oh, great hit. It was LEYSHON. Solid one over the top. Lambert with the kick. He's just 17 years of age. He possesses a very good kicking game. Gary is a player of the future.
Yeah, he sure is. We haven't had much of an opportunity to see a lot of him. He hasn't been able to control hasn't had too much control of football from his side. Yeah, he looks to have a pretty cool head on his shoulders. Nicely placed that kick.
Well, he's still at school, Gary. I mean, they have 3 players, the Cowboys, still at school in this side today. It's a big ask.
And I guess with that experience they bought for next year, that can only help those players come on a little bit. They'll have the time to develop.
Those 3 players are Josh HANNAY, Scott Prince and Denny Lambert. MORRISON.
It's hard to know what options the Cowboys had for the day, but that's an awesome task first up here, Bears at Bear Park. I mean, without second guessing, I think that's an unfair assignment for these young players. Let's hope it doesn't
scar them.
Doesn't spoil what could be promising careers.
LOMAX over the top. SODEN. A good kick. How will it work out? For Dallas. Oh, Ray Mercy. Time to tackle. Just in time. The end of the opening 40 minutes here at Bear Park. In fact, we have a touch judge in. We'll have a listen.
Oh, here you go. Do you want a penalty or you just want to talk to him? We'll just have a talk to him now and we'll just call it off after that. Right. This is for an incident 30 metres down here. Right. After he's knocked the player over, he's passed the ball. Hey, Johnny. Both the players have stood up and he swung a high, smacked the other guy in the head. Okay. And then they separated. All right. Okay. So it hasn't gone on to you. No. Well, we're going to go... Johnny, no need for it, mate. Johnny, enough. Steve knows what's going on. We're going. Have you finished? Come here. Have you finished? Because you're looking at 10 minutes in the bin if you're not careful, and that'll put your side down by 1 player. Now we're going to go to half-time and have a rest, all right? You all right?
Well, how much was in the incident? We're about to find out. PETHYBRIDGE with the ball. FAIRLEIGH. It actually happened off the ball. Not too sure how much was in it, Gus.
No, his real hitter, Steve Wallace, actually knocks a player and then supposedly clips him about the head. Yeah, a little bit of frustration there from Steve Walters.
Well, frustration for the North Queensland Cowboys, and why not? They trail by 30 points to 0 at this stage. 5 tries the North Sydney Bears have turned on. We'll take a short break. About to get underway now. Second half. Kelvin Jeffs. We're underway for the second 40 minutes. If Queensland would love to score early as LOCKE bustles his way to 20 metres out from the line. Mahon, who was heavily involved in the opening half, Cunningham. On his way back to the Manly club. Club he won a premiership with as LOMAX goes forward. Short side play by Walters. Over the top of one. Let's go sideline now and Gary Belcher.
Yes, I have Murray Hurst with me, the Cowboys assistant coach. Murray, I guess it's going to be a long trip home if things don't improve in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Obviously things aren't going to how we planned. We planned to be very competitive in this game, and to date, to a percentage of that first half, we certainly haven't been.
There are some major defensive problems and lapses. Was Tim able to pinpoint specific areas they need to improve?
Yeah, well, obviously it's on the edges, we think, and you know, they go down both our edges on either side and seem to have problems there with people making decisions in defence. It's not so much ability to tackle.
For the corner, it comes back on the inside away from the wing. Offloads now for SEERS. And SEERS, LEYSHON backing up on the inside. SEERS to FLORIMO. Loose ball, bounces up for BUETTNER. Great inside ball. MUIR, they're throwing it around now as the Cowboys come away from their own line, Gary.
Well, a bit of relief there, Murray. I guess they've kept the Bears out early in the half. What were the final instructions for the coach? Was it just basically to try to come away with some pride?
Yeah, basically. I mean, if we get out of our red zone okay, you know, we think we can go all right if we do that. But the thing is holding the football long enough to do that. But the instructions mainly were revolving around the ability from people to physically make the tackle, put the ball carrier on the deck, and as we spoke earlier, really fix up the edge defence.
All right, let's hope it gets better for you. Thanks, Murray. Back to you, Terry.
Look at Steve Walters go. Oh, the pass was just a touch too hard. NADRUKU, it came bouncing off his chest, and he was stripped of that ball in the tackle.
Lost the ball.
Oh, I thought he was stripped of it, but apparently not.
And knocked on here by NADRUKU.
There it is.
It's hard to know if any real advantage here was given to the North Sydney side. In fact, he's ruled a feed by the Bears. I would say because NADRUKU stripped that ball, which should have been a penalty for a 2-on-2 tackle, but eventually they've got it right. The Bears are going to come up with the ball. I didn't think they had an advantage, and it was stripped anyway.
Off PETHYBRIDGE. Good offload for FLORIMO. Matt SEERS for Nigel ROY. ROY back away from the sideline. They're looking to promote the ball at every opportunity, the Bears. FAIRLEIGH pushes away from SHIPWAY. Nigel ROY. Needed a player in support there. REBER for Gary LARSON. He's content to take the tackle on this occasion. Oh, wayward pass. FLORIMO picks it up. A little chip kick for himself. Oh, will he get a hat-trick? Oh, just bumped down. I thought he could have scored himself. Super work back on the inside, though.
Well, it was a Greg FLORIMO bounce, wasn't it? A little speculator. There wasn't much on. He put one over the top, got it back with a beautiful bounce. North Sydney straight back on the attack.
LARSON to the line. I think he could believe his luck at first, Greg FLORIMO. FAIRLEIGH. Nigel ROY, so strong, close to the line. Bustles his way over. And there's a penalty there, double movement. Gary Belcher sideline.
Go behind him. All right. Here it is.
Yeah, I've got Les Kiss with me, the President's Cup coach from the Bears. Almost a try there. Les, now, I guess it was a great first half of football. Peter Lilly, what were the instructions for the second half?
Now, we were very happy with our whole first half, particularly since we lost Jason Taylor for the majority of that half. Pete's instructions at half-time was basically to try and put a disciplined effort in the second half. You know, we can go out there and try and play footy and drop the ball on the first tackle, etc. But more than anything, we just want a disciplined effort in the second half.
All right, well, we're all speculating as to why Jason Taylor has stayed off the field. What was the real reason?
Well, he has a very badly broken nose, poor JT. It won't help his looks, obviously, but you know, it's obviously an opportunity for us to look at a few different combinations around the half-back role as well. And as everyone knows, we rely on Jason Taylor for a lot of our game, and it's a good opportunity for us to sort of try a few different things out in the field.
And Peter Lilly expecting the boys to go on with it a lot better than 30-0 at half-time?
Yeah, we're not focusing on going to 50, 60, 70-0 or anything like that. We want to, you know, first of all, control our sets. We had 16 good completions of 20 in the first half. You know, we just want to maintain that momentum, and you know, the tries will come if we do that first.
I'm sure you're right about that. Thanks, Les. We're just seeing Gary LARSON come off now with some sort of injury.
Okay, thanks, Badge.
Yeah, he's copped a nasty head knock as Gary LARSON. It takes a fair bit to make this man leave the park. 24 Origin matches and 10 Test matches.
Wait till he gets about 10 metres off, okay?
And he's holding that face. He's heading towards you, Gary Belcher. He looks quite distressed. His head's gone straight into the ground. Maybe it wasn't a head clash with another player.
Well, I can't see any blood. Whether it's his left eye or not, I'm not sure. I'll get a report back to you in a moment.
Hopefully nothing too serious for Gary Larson, who's an important cog in this North Sydney attack. Cunningham, nice ball for NADRUKU. Adelaide Mercy on the outside. LOMAX running off Steve Walters there, over the halfway line now.
Yeah, good hit from Adam MUIR too. It's hard to be grim in defence when you don't have to be, but he's just gone in there real hard on those two tackles, leading the way for the North Sydney forwards.
Prince, nice ball for Mahon. Mahon kicks. Matt SEERS is back in the full-back position. It runs dead. It's a big difference, that extra yard or two, doesn't it?
Certainly does. North Sydney waited a few perfect kicks in there in the first half. This time Scotty Mahon too strong out the back door. North Sydney come back up with the ball. Trindall with a great run straight off the tap.
Big run from Steve Trindall. Realises that Josh Stewart's coming back from suspension. LEYSHON spins out of one. MORRISON on the short side. Oh, good offload for PETHYBRIDGE. It's going to pull forward. Let's go sideline and Gary Belcher.
Yes, Gary Larson copped a finger in the eye. It looks like it might be serious. He's had to go into the tunnel with the doctor to get a better look at it on the dressing table. So I guess there's got to be some doubt about him coming back out.
There's no ball, stand back.
You see MORRISON up the short side here. He'll just flick one out with the left hand over the top. Now that was not a linesman's call. The referee called that from a long way away. It looked pretty fair there. Still, referee in a better position than us to tell.
Scott Prince. Delivered a nice ball. SHIPWAY.
We've talked about North Sydney's attack today. I mean, they have scored 30 points, but it's the other side of it as well, the nil. They really have numbered up well in defence. Offered the Cowboys very little in the way of line breaks or opportunities.
Cunningham back to the middle. Fritz and Lambert getting a little bit more of the ball. Walters seizes on any chance from acting half. Mahon. This is Prince. High ball. Lambert comes through. And well taken on the far side by the Bears. Back to the 20.
Nigel ROY very calm. It's a trade of wingers nowadays. If they take a good catch, they throw it back to the quarter line there and get themselves going again from the tap. We shouldn't call it the quarter line. I'm showing my age, aren't I? It hasn't been a 25 for about 10 years.
Roger remembers.
I do.
LEYSHON.
We were talking about the North Sydney defence a few moments ago, and one thing has really been noticeable to me, particularly in the first half, they're really moving forward well off the line and getting up in the face of the Cowboys. It's a feature they'll have to keep up for the rest of the series.
Great ball, Gary, for Adam MUIR. He waits for BUETTNER. BUETTNER throws a dummy. Oh, the outside, the knock on by Roy. I don't know about that record Michael BUETTNER's going for.
Yeah, but this is the important part of it. The MUIR and IKIN combination. MUIR beautifully into the hole. Lovely support pass here for BUETTNER. He had SEERS back on the inside. Went wide to Roy. The pass behind him couldn't come up with the grab. But it's not so much the finish that was the worry. It's the dangerous nature of IKIN to MUIR, or FLORIMO to MUIR, or Taylor to IKIN. I mean, they've got beautiful little combinations there on the edges of the ruck. It's going to be a hard side to contain the Bears.
Yeah, well, we've been speculating, I guess, for 24 rounds, Gary, about the impact Adam MUIR was having with the Bears, and can he make the difference? Can he get him over that finals hoodoo?
Well, he had one of his best games last week with that 2-try effort, and I think he's showing he really runs into the hole well, and he's got a lot of confidence in those players to give him the football, and I guess the feeling's mutual, because whenever he hits the hole, quite often he'll get the football. So you've got to have it's got to be all round, you know, the support of the players inside, and you're doing the right thing when you're running onto that pass.
I think you'll see Jason Taylor check back into this game. I think he likes to sit out too many minutes. This is Trindall. He also has been enjoying his combination with Adam MUIR. They've worked on it long and hard at training. There's LEYSHON. REBER can go either way. He goes himself straight ahead. These are one of the options I was thinking about. MORRISON. Quick hands by IKIN for FLORIMO. Nice short ball for Adam MUIR. always looking to exploit any weakness in the defensive line. MUIR.
Yeah, there was a collision there and two players. MUIR's got up with a sore knee and Florimo's still down. Here's a try for North Sydney.
Well, they just crash over Morrison. Off the bench and over the try line he goes. I was having a look at Adam MUIR in the background. I know that was a good try, but I was more concerned about the injury to MUIR.
Yeah, well, I think that'll be the concern to Peter Louis as well. North Sydney Bears are in under the post, but that's of no interest. The interest is back with the injured player on the ground. As we saw BUETTNER in under the post there. Here's Adam MUIR. Florimo and MUIR actually collide. And MUIR there, left leg over the top of that defender. He actually gets up to play the ball, but he's not happy. And here's BUETTNER onto Morrison and underneath the post from the ensuing play. But all interest is back on the ground where Adam MUIR is up. He's a little rocky on that right knee. But he's at least walking, which is a good sign.
The flags go up again. 36 points to 0. Florimo. He's having a day to remember at Bear Park. It's a day out.
He's been sharp since he came on, Morrison, hasn't he? And BUETTNER's had a very good all-round game as well. Quick hands. He just had to put it through the hands, and Morrison getting down nice and low and made sure he scored.
Adam MUIR coming from the field. I think it's more a cork than anything. The further he walks, the more loose he's becoming.
Was he injured that knee at training earlier on in the season? He missed 3 months of football, including the entire rep season. He's one player that I'm sure New South Wales coach Tom Radonicus would have loved to have had.
Yeah, well, he's not limping now. He's stretched it out. I'd say it's just a cork, probably on the upper thigh there. Still painful. Hurts for a while. It'll be sore tomorrow. But he'll be right for the semis next week.
Yeah, just initially he grabbed the knee, and that was the major concern, but he's walking quite freely now towards the bench.
When you've had a knee injury too, I mean, it does shock you when you get another twist the wrong way there. And here's Jason Taylor back into the game.
So LEYSHON. So the bench players getting a big workout for the Bears. REBER. Billy Moore. It's right on the halfway line. It's a Prince who bucked away from that tackle. Taylor straight into the thick of the action. The kick into open space. Mahon has to come forward now. Taylor did the chasing, as well as BUETTNER. PETHYBRIDGE makes the tackle on Ray Mercy. Adam Warwick. Well, Deef in the acting half position with his head heavily bandaged. Final tackle for the Cowboys. Roberts. Denny Lambert. This kick pull up, just a touch too deep. Let's go sideline, Gary.
It's dried out North Sydney Oval, isn't it? Those kicks are all running dead now. A little bit of breeze behind it. No problem with Adam MUIR. He's just come off as a replacement. He did knock that knee, but it seems to be totally fine. A bit of a drama in the Cowboys camp, though. John Lomax, the skipper, has a problem with his left ankle. He's twisted it. He's getting it strapped now. I guess that means he's going to come back on, but he's grimacing in pain.
It's had a pretty good year for the Cowboys as John Lomax. He's played in the 20 games.
Just looking at the Bears here at the moment, you just get the feeling that perhaps they've got next week on their mind now. Starting to try and get away with it as comfortable as they can. Perhaps that's why Jason Taylor's gone back out there, just to spark them up again, keep the machine rolling on.
Taylor. BUETTNER. Nice ball for PETHYBRIDGE. Plenty of speed. The cover comes. The little kick. Here goes BUETTNER. He can't get hold of one. Dallas was there. Last tackle. If they move it to the left, they'll score. Taylor. IKIN. Long ball. Nigel ROY will get another one in the corner. He comes around a touch closer, but really, the Bears are having an absolute picnic.
Now, we can't get anything to fall for Michael BUETTNER yet. We'll see from the ensuing play. Jason Taylor out. BUETTNER. Nice long ball. Found PETHYBRIDGE down the offside. Had support on the inside. Elected to kick with the attention of the defence. BUETTNER couldn't get a handle on it. Dallas came up with a great grab. A quick play the ball. And Ben IKIN very selectively here. Had any number of players to choose from. Went from the widest. And Nigel ROY, a free run to the line. Takes it around and scores a try. A great ball there. from Buettner to find PETHYBRIDGE on the outside. Clever kick off the left foot infield. Didn't sit up for Buettner, sat for Dallas. Now it's just a matter of who can score the try, who can find the right hole. IKIN didn't look for a hole, he just looks for the man in space out wide.
Well, he had a couple of easier options, maybe, for Ben IKIN, but the long ball hit Nigel ROY straight on the chest.
Well, the object's to get it across the line, not make it look pretty. And he just thought, well, you're in space, you can have it.
11 tries for the season. Good pack, a speedy back line. Your pressure games happening around the country. What about Taylor? Showing everybody how it's done from the touchline to 42-0.
Yes, from that quick play, the ball there from SEERS. IKIN can see that they're totally unmarked out wide. Normally that long cutout pass, you wouldn't want to miss everyone out, but there's no one out there to slide for the Cowboys, and he goes over untouched. And what about this kick, Jason Taylor? Looked like it was going to just go to the left. Swings just back inside the upright. Plenty more of those in the finals.
Over 100 goals for the season for Jason Taylor. Ivan Cleary, your man, Phil Gould, has scored more points than any other player in the competition this year. It's nice to have a goal kicker of his ability, and he's scored plenty of tries also.
And I believe last night he broke a long-standing record, either by Mike Eden or...
He did, yeah.
He's got the most number of points for the club. He's had a tremendous year. Ivan Cleary. Come on with a rush of tries late in the season too, which sort of boosted those averages for him.
1983, that record was set by Mike Eden, and Ivan Cleary smashing it last night at Waikato. Morrison, oh, good hit. It came from Ian Roberts. FLORIMO, ridden to the ground by Cunningham. They go to the left-hand side. BUETTNER, LEYSHON. Oh, they've bombed another one. Matt SEERS just coming off his left hand.
Well, a case of too many numbers again. BUETTNER down the short side, finds LEYSHON. Had the ball gone to Nigel ROY, he scores another one. And Matt SEERS just getting in the way there. Too many players down that short side. Or not enough defence, one or the other.
It's tempting not to try to take a grab at a football like that when you're in space. The line's there, no defenders. And as you said, Gus, if you'd let it go, Nigel ROY was over.
NADRUKU, in fact, Ray Mercer.
You can see that Jason Taylor's presence on the field has just lifted this intensity in the North Sydney side again.
Lambert taking the ground. Still a teenager, plays it back. Deep. Oh, good hit from LEYSHON. Morrison involved. Deep. Trying to get a short ball away. Ian Roberts falls on it. And Ian Roberts has hit his head on the ground. And has knocked himself out, has he?
He's got a little bit of a history of this. He has had some bad knocks over the years and certainly some very bad concussions. We'll need a replay here just to see exactly what has happened. He has taken some terrible knocks over the years. Ian Roberts picks up the loose ball here. Well, he mightn't even be knocked out. He might have taken a knee in the back or in the hip area there. I'd say that's the problem.
Very groggy. He's a hard man to keep down. Is Ian Roberts, and up he gets to his feet. He's had a horrific run, I think.
Oh yeah. Looks to me
Aging
like he's
warrior and plenty of big hits.
Looks to me like his lower back.
Yeah.
He has been plagued with injury problems over the last few years.
I'm going to go back on the chain, wait for me to blow the whistle, all right? You suck it in, all right? Willie LEYSHON, you're too far back. You can better go closer.
Such a tremendous player over the years, Ian Roberts. Representative player, played with Manly.
Souths.
No, that really hurt.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. I think you might be right, Gary. It could be the lower back.
Yeah, he's not very good at all, and John Lomax on the sideline ready to come on. Now, Lomax has that ankle problem. He just warmed up. He is not right. I mean, I can't see the point in putting him back on at 42-0 when you've got Martin Locke sitting on the sideline as well.
Here goes Dallas. Here's Roberts in all sorts of trouble. Shame to see such a champion player struggling to his feet. Good offload by the Bears. There's plenty more tries left in this outfit. 42-0. They've already scored 7. 22 minutes to go. Florimo has picked up a double.
Hold, put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, some real troubles here for Ian Roberts. He can't find his legs at all.
Oh, this is tragic. It is the lower back.
That's all right, yeah, I got a call from upstairs. Not God, but sometimes the
I think
sense of humour there from the referee.
He says he gets up to play the ball here, he plays it, just the action of lifting his leg, see the pain, and drop straight down to his haunches. And he's not happy man at all.
Horrendous ground. He's put his body on the line so often as Ian Roberts. Souths and then Manly for 5 years.
I played with Ian Roberts his first year in first grade in 1986. He lived up to all the promise he showed at that time. That's what it looks like. Perhaps accidentally.
Nothing illegal whatsoever.
Back there.
The smallest bloke on the field up against the biggest player virtually in Ian Roberts.
Yeah, 9 Origin games and 13 Test matches for Ian Roberts. Missed tackles, far too many for the Cowboys. Line breaks, well, the Bears have absolutely been running ragged.
50 tackles head start.
71. Done a lot of defensive work, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Cowboys, and once again possession favouring the Bears. Any good side that much ball, and they will do plenty of damage, Gary, as Tim Sheens, who you played under for so long.
Yeah, really tough time for Tim. I guess, as he said in the last month or a few months since they've obviously been out of the finals, is that they're looking towards next season. He's been trying to keep their minds on the job, but I guess a lot of the players are just hoping the season will finish and the next 20-odd minutes will go fairly quickly for them.
Ian Roberts.
That's a sorry sight, last game of the season.
Leaving the park.
It's Mark Graham, a former North Sydney great player.
Back at Bear Park.
Back at Bear Park today.
He still keeps himself in pretty good shape, Gary, by the look of that, Mark Graham.
He does. You're not looking at the little bloke nearest Brian Hyde, the coach, the trainer, are you? No. Mark Graham looks like he could play.
Fluorescent green.
He had a lot of trouble out here with his knees and this hard ground that's a lot more forgiving than it was when he was playing.
Yeah, plenty of players had a bit of trouble with him also. He was a hard man to handle.
He was a good player. He was a very good player. Many tipping him to come into the coaching ranks in the next few years.
Deeth can't get hold of this ball.
Okay, step back, North.
This game is certainly been plagued by a lot of errors from both teams in this second half.
Step
Getting
back,
very untidy. Taylor back out there to SEERS. He's made the switch from fullback to the centres. Pretty good fashion.
Yeah, he looks quite comfortable there. The rest of the side's functioning very well. I don't think it matters. I think BUETTNER, IKIN, SEERS, you can play them all in different positions. FLORIMO. It's just such a well-balanced team at the moment.
Is it LEYSHON being driven back and he clutches at his right knee? Maybe his ankle, in fact. Fairleigh. Good offload. Here goes IKIN. BUETTNER. Will he get there? Oh, eventually he does. 20 tries for the season. It's taken him 60 minutes. He's had some chances, but he edges one closer to the record. Yeah, 46-0.
20 minutes to go. I'll back him in today. Nice ball here, particularly from David Fairleigh round the corner. Didn't he hit that gap hard, Ben IKIN? And this is the advantage the Bears have got. Speed on the ball. Speed. It's so important in today's game. Taylor, Fairleigh, one armour. IKIN, bang. See you later.
So it's the only thing you can't coach against. Is that correct, speed?
Well, it's the only thing you can't coach. It's the only thing you can't create in a player. I mean, you can help with a lot of things, but you can't help with speed. It's a God-given talent. And the more you've got of it, the better you are.
It is a speedy backline, and he gets 20 tries for the season. He realises he needs one more to equal that record from 1922. Now, I guess, Gary, from a hoodoo point of view, that'd just be one monkey off the back, wouldn't it? To get over that record of the most tries in the season by Seth Blinkhorn back in 22.
The more of those monkeys they get off their back, I guess the closer they're going to be to getting past that preliminary final that has caused them so much drama in the last few years.
Oh, they're looking good, the Bears.
Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now. Taking some great form into the finals. As is this man with the right boot, Jason Taylor. 48-0.
Still 18 minutes to go.
Just watch Jason Taylor with options. He hand in the short player a little bit wider and fairly. He hit the right man. BUETTNER eventually backing up IKIN on the inside. Number 20 for the year.
I think that's good coaching by Peter Louis. I mean, it just looked as though North Sydney were ready to sit back and say, well, let's get on with next week and try and get this one over with. But by injecting Jason Taylor back out there, it's lifted the intensity and reminded the players the coach was very fair dinkum about an 80-minute performance today. And they've responded. A couple of quick tries now, and they'll start to look for some more.
Morrison. Let's go sideline, and Gary, the injuries continue.
Well, they've called an ambulance for Ian Roberts. That back, lower back, I suspect, injury is pretty serious, and that's bad news this afternoon. No one would like to see that.
Certainly not. Nigel ROY goes back. Nice ball for IKIN out the back for Taylor. PETHYBRIDGE, Morrison, who's been everywhere since coming onto the park. They're trying to touch too hard now.
That's some magic grabs in that little sequence there. They just tried for one too many. PETHYBRIDGE flicking it out the back.
You'd think they're 2 points down with only a minute or two to go. The way they threw it around on that play, almost come up with a miracle.
Well, over the last couple of seasons, I've just seen them tear so many sides apart. I mean, they get out of the blocks, they get to a 10-point lead, and they go right on with it here at Bear Park.
Noah NADRUKU.
They could force a home ground semi-final. I don't think they'll let them play the grand final here. That's the only thing.
Well, if they could, I think I'd back them.
Yeah, and they'd leave the sprinklers on as well.
I think you better have something on them anyway, Gary.
Mahon.
I think you're setting them up for something.
Yeah, exactly. Cunningham. Taken by TRINDALL. Walters. Finds his skipper in LOMAX. COOREY has come off the right wing. Denny LAMBERT is the 20. Throws the dummy. Hasn't been given a lot of space. Walters.
Whoops.
The bomb. It's way, way, way too big.
That kick's nearly landed at Manly.
That was 6 points. Straight through the uprights from where I'm sitting.
He's keen for another year, Gary. Have you had a chance to have a bit of a chat to your former teammate?
No, I haven't today, but I'm glad to hear it, because I think he's still got something to offer for sides that, a side that really needs a player that can help bring on the youngsters. He's a great club man, Steve Walters, as well as a good player.
Not a bad record in big games, is it? He's won 3 championships.
Best hooker forward I've ever seen, in my day anyway. Best hooker forward in the game.
16 test matches, 14 origins for Walters and 3 premierships. Fairleigh looking for his first premiership. PETHYBRIDGE on the fly, and PETHYBRIDGE gets another. It just keeps on coming. Try after try, that's number 9.
PETHYBRIDGE, BUETTNER, IKIN, Dallas, they were all there. Through went the big man, anyone options. And PETHYBRIDGE, speed. Come back to it again. That's the thing about North Sydney. When they come out the other side of the line, you're not going to catch them. Beautiful short ball there from Taylor to Florimo in the hole. To Fairleigh in the hole. And any number of players he could have picked up. They all just loom up on the outside. And they can take it all the way. Taylor loves to stand at second receiver nowadays. Gets a forward to bring the ball to him. It's probably how they've...
Is that the difference?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
What they've done is they've made up for the fact they don't really have a ball playing 5'8". Greg Florimo's a strong running player. And a lot of the time you can sort of marshal your troops around Taylor, around the rucks and close him down. But this year, North Sydney have got into the tactic of putting a forward at first receiver tipping the ball on to Taylor at second receiver. And it's just got their options and their angles a little bit wider on a little bit less defence. And with the speed that they've got, and particularly the ability of, there's another kick, particularly with the ability of Fairleigh and Florimo and Adam MUIR to unload the ball one-handed, their speed's too good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Jason Taylor, he hits the man, doesn't he? David Fairleigh just knows he has to run into the hole. He just angles back into that space, and the ball will land right on his belly every time, and it does it once again. Draws the cover defence, and a nice offload out wide to Petherbridge. That's a sad sight there, Ian Roberts. Now he's got the trouble is his kidneys. He's copped it right on his kidneys, and that's why it's so serious and he's off to hospital.
Just didn't seem to be too much in it, did there, Gary, at the time? But certainly to keep him down like that.
Well, it's a delicate area, isn't it? He must have copped it right in the wrong spot.
SODEN will appear to be that way. Florimo goes forward.
Well, certainly anything was an accident that happened in that. It's not that anything was deliberately done. And it's just bad luck for Ian Roberts, particularly at this stage of his career and at this stage of the season.
Now Florimo now looking to go on with the job against LOMAX. IKIN has MUIR. He never dies with the ball. Taylor. LOMAX over the top.
Move away!
And I think Johnny LOMAX has had a couple of running battles.
Move away! Move away,
He's just frustrated completely.
Hey! What I want everyone to do is walk away now. Walk away. I want everyone else from this side to walk behind that line there for me, please.
Well, if the nose was sore before and broken badly, oh, that would really hurt.
Johnny, just listen to me, Johnny.
He's going to go on report here, John Lomax.
What I'm going to ask you to do is get your tackles down for that 2 in a row now. He was falling, you're going to go on report, all right? It's on report, okay? Johnny, you get your tackles down for me, all right? Away you go.
John Lomax has had a history of this over the years, a lot of judiciary appearances. Taylor was flying. Another one right on the nose.
Well, coming out of his mouth soon, that cotton wool.
I don't think I can play with that stuck up my nose.
It would be sounding like the Godfather after the game, Gary.
Better than sitting on the bench, that's for sure.
He's all right. No, I hadn't blown the whistle to start play, so it's all right. Wait.
54-0 the scoreline. Tough day for the skipper on the wrong end of the score park. COOREY makes the tackle. Players in motion for the Bears. Fairleigh. Good offload for Nigel ROY. Catch for the inside man. MUIR. The Cowboys survive another raid.
Off you.
Luke Scott is out there in jumper number 21 for the Cowboys.
They're getting very inventive now, the Bears. Nigel ROY ran out of space. He's ruled here that Adam MUIR has knocked that ball on in goal by tapping it forward. Therefore, it comes out to the quarter for a restart. Cheers around the ground here at Bear Park. I don't know what the score is at Cogra, but they're all very happy.
Oh, Lomax. Shoulder charge there with Adam MUIR.
You can hear the Bears defenders from down here. They're still talking it up very, very loud and strong. Obviously, they don't want the Cowboys to breach their line the whole afternoon. 10 minutes to go. Pretty confident that'll happen.
Lomax hasn't taken a backward step. NADRUKU has won a Kong Sevens tournament in rugby union with Fiji and also a premiership with Canberra. That's a very odd combination. LAMBERT. Huge kick for a little man, but straight down the throat of Ben IKIN. He gobbles it up. Prince does some chasing. Prince is still chasing. Prince can't cut down IKIN. Oh, the Bears. Another chance goes to ground.
Yeah, a couple of untidy touches the last 2 possessions, but still semi-finals next week. They're just throwing it around 54-0 in front. Great speed from Ben IKIN. Couldn't get it back on the inside to ROY. And they've turned over possession again. as Gary Belcher says, they've done everything they could. I mean, they've kept them to nil on the scoreboard. Very grim in defence.
I guess we'll hear all different scenarios from this game. We'll have, as Mahon hits the line, some saying, oh, you'd like to go into the finals with a tougher game, and some saying this is just what the Bears needed to rack up a huge score. Depends who you talk to, Gus.
Well, you can't control the draw. All you can do is control your own football, and whatever the ranking is playing against the Cowboys at home in your last game, they can't do any more than they've done.
NADRUKU using his feet, I should say. Second in is Adam Warwick.
Cowboys just looking for something positive out of the afternoon. Injuries, 54 points scored against them.
Oh, well, LOMAX, nice foot back on the inside, but they've turned it over again, and the counter-attack now. The crowd really enjoying this at Bear Park.
Yeah, they're tremendous, the Bears. As I said earlier in the game, when they get a turnover, they go straight on the attack. They don't just take the tackle and try and restart slowly. They're into you straight away.
MORRISON. He's one player who will enjoy playing in a final series. That's the reason he left the Balmain Tigers. Adam MUIR.
They're running freely, Adam MUIR. That's a good sign. Some worrying moments earlier in the half when he limped off.
BUETTNER. Nigel ROY. Far side, dangerously close. Pops it out the back. SEERS. FLORIMO. Nice ball for FAIRLEIGH. FAIRLEIGH for PETHYBRIDGE. PETHYBRIDGE now for Dallas. Will he score? Yes, the in and the away. Beautiful stuff from Brett Dallas. And you've got to feel sorry for Scott Mahon, because they've been coming at him at pace all day.
Yeah, talked about the beauty of speed earlier. Well, there's none quicker than this man. Beautiful hands across the line from North Sydney. FAIRLEIGH to PETHYBRIDGE. Now Dallas, watch this for a little in and away. Whoop, whoop. Left him flashing at fresh air. BUETTNER onto Nigel ROY. This is the controversial part, whether or not he threw the ball before tackled. Sort of just rolled it out the back. Well, probably penalised there, I'd say. Well, the referee was happy that he got rid of the ball before it was held. And now the speed on the outside. You're not going to catch them once they come out the other side of the line. That's brilliant finishing.
He does it with simply no effort, doesn't he, Brett Dallas?
Let's watch Nigel ROY here. Is he down?
He was tackled.
Well, it's hard to say, isn't it?
Lay on was the call. FLORIMO delivered a nice one to FAIRLEIGH, and FAIRLEIGh
hands.
Good pace and beautiful timing.
Cowboys haven't helped themselves with this rushing up defence. I mean, they just tend to rush up into gaps, hoping to knock the ball down. There's no real rhyme or reason to their defence.
Well, Mark SODEN, a toe poke, Gary Belcher. You don't see it very often.
Only the great goal kickers could toe poke, I've got to tell you that. I think this was held. This should have been a penalty there. The ball, his arm was on the ground, held by two players, then he popped it out the back. But full marks. It was great play from here on in. And you hate to see, when you're a fullback, a winger with that sort of speed and that sort of room to move.
Particularly if his name's Brett Dallas.
Oh, yeah. He can run a little bit.
And he's a Queenslander, doesn't he? And he's a Queenslander. You're right, 10 Origin games for Queensland, 6 tests. LEYSHON. I think he'll the sort of player who'll thrive in the finals, Willie LEYSHON. Look forward to the challenge. I don't think too much worries him. LARSON to FLORIMO. Into the chest there of Denny LAMBERT. Good hands from REBER. Oh, again, they continue to rush up the Cowboys. HANNAY bumps that one back. The difference the week makes for Josh HANNAY. He scored a hat-trick last week against Manly. Prince plays it back for LOCKE. Deef takes it to the line, over the advantage line, an ankle tackle from REBER. Walters just stealing those metres out the back for Deef. Good hands from Scott Prince, who was absolutely crunched by Willie LEYSHON.
Yeah, great urgency by Willie LEYSHON. I mean, the ball did go the other side of the ruck, and then a couple of flick passes was back to the right-hand side of the field, but LEYSHON quite enthusiastically was up there to put some pressure on the defence. He's crunched the poor young fellow, quite legally, I believe. I don't think there's anything untoward in that.
He fell on the ball also, Gary, which made it the impact a hard one for Scott Prince. He's just 18 years of age. He's still at school, and he's got to front up on Monday morning.
Well, I guess some of the boys might be celebrating their last match or commiserating the way the season's gone, but as you normally would at the end of the year.
Back to school on Monday. You'll have something for show and tell, won't he?
Bruises, the inside ball. It's play on from referee Kelvin Jeffs.
What'd you do on the weekend? I got beat 50-0 by North Sydney.
Josh HANNAY delivers it for Scott Prince. He's up and about, but so's this man, Willie LEYSHON. He won't force him back. Nigel ROY. Well, they enjoy the wet conditions, but they enjoy the dry also, the Bears. They get the giggles when they see a tap dripping. They enjoy the wet conditions so much as Max SEERS comes away again. 30 metres out from his own line. SODEN. This is LEYSHON. Good offload by LEYSHON again. IKIN. Now Matt SEERS. Got some tackles left. David FAIRLEIGH. Nigel ROY. And ROY gets up and goes again for FLORIMO. IKIN. MORRISON. LEYSHON and PETHYBRIDGE gets a double in the space of 10 minutes. They were all backing up. They were all hungry. 62-0. This is very ugly.
There's the support plays the key here. On every play, even preceding the ones before this, there was so much support play. I know when you're leading by 50 points, you're all hungry for a try, but you know, you're 75 minutes into the game, you've got it well won, semi-finals next week. You could have a little lapse off now, surely. Not the Bears. Nigel ROY up, keeps going, allowed to play on. Ball across there to FLORIMO. Now the chain passing. FLORIMO, IKIN out to LEYSHON, now onto the speed men. It must be so nice to play on the outside of these talented ball players in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Nigel ROY did so well here. He was taking the ground, but he bounced straight back up. And the offload, and we've seen some terrific chain passing by the Bears so far this year, and also from MORRISON, who possesses a very good pair of hands and quick hands for a big bloke.
He does too. See, Nigel ROY too there, he's tested the referee to make some calls. He squeezed that ball out on the try before. That time he got up and ran it with confidence. The referee's got no option. He's got a real play on.
IKIN waved away, hooking too much. 62-0.
It's an incredible performance by the Bears. There's not much more we can say. The Cowboys reluctant to come up and kick off again.
Very tough afternoon, the Cowboys. Short kickoff. Ray Mercy charges through, but PETHYBRIDGE. They've given up only a couple of line breaks, the Bears, and no tries whatsoever. Not too much for Coach Petalou to complain about from today.
Nah, look, he'll just go straight down to the medical team and see how are we. We're in good shape.
You dropped it right in your bread basket and then it went back.
We'll bring him back to work tomorrow morning, get their minds.
Yeah, Johnny going on?
Straight on the semi-final series ahead. There'll be no 60-point gallops in those games.
The Bears win and St George win. The Bears play Parramatta here at Bear Park. The Bears win, Parramatta win. The Bears play Melbourne at Olympic Park. Unaware of what's happening in the other matches today, but they're vital. Prince. Walters. That's COOREY. Locke lines up for another charge. Cunningham. Can they get across the try line? They've got one tackle to do it. Walters hasn't stopped going forward all day. Siren in the background.
Referee hasn't heard it. One more play.
High ball. Mahon. The kick goes 15 metres backwards. FAIRLEIGH.
Look out.
They'll fling it around. In fact, they've flung it forward. Loose ball. HANNAY. The kick. The siren has sounded. The ball goes dead. North Sydney, very impressive winners. 62 points to nil. 11 tries to nil. Plenty to like about that performance, Phil.
30-0 the first half, 32-0 the second half. It showed they were committed for the 80 minutes. They had some little bumps and bruises during the contest. Jason Taylor played little part, so too did Billy Moore. Gary Larson got a poke in the eye. Adam MUIR left with a knee injury. Willie LEYSHON left with an ankle injury. But they all got their way back onto the field. It looks as though they're all fit and well for the finals next week. And at 62 points to nil, Peter Louis has got nothing to worry about, provided everyone pulls up okay from the game. And they'll go on for their semi-final next weekend.
Well, what a way to farewell Greg FLORIMO from Bear Park after some 282 games for the club.
The computer graphics on the Sports Australia NRL coverage are brought to you by Unisys, the leaders in computer technology.
Watch the NBA playoffs unfold right before